who came out today in this snow, in this cold, to stand with Palestine, to say no to war with Iran, to say Netanyahu is a war criminal. This is to see the core of resistance to new U.S. wars. This is why we gather as Congress invites a joint session of Congress for a war criminal.
Netanyahu is carrying the blood of over 2,000 Palestinians that were killed last summer, more than 500 of which were children, in addition to the innocent lives that continue to get stolen every day from the occupation and unjustifiably detained, kicked out of their homes and forced to face many types of extreme discrimination every day. Imagine living while getting harassed every day by soldiers. Imagine living under extreme fear and not knowing if you will be alive the next day or not. If your child will be able to walk to school without getting detained. This is what war criminals like Bibi Netanyahu are doing. This speech that Bibi is giving is another event of normalizing the blood of people. How would Netanyahu or those people who are inviting him to talk feel if people were giving speeches normalizing the blood of their very own people?
We gather in here to say no to Netanyahu, end the sanction in Iran, and long live Palestine, long live people of Gaza, long live the heroic struggle of the resistance of the people of Lebanon, Palestine, Iraq, Syria.
And we say we can bring peace to the Middle East by getting the U.S. ships and planes and all out of the Middle East, all out of the Arab world, away from the coast of Iran, and let's get the racist state of Israel out of the Middle East with all its U.S.-made arms and tanks and planes.
During Gaza this summer, you all know the scale of the atrocities that were committed by Israeli forces under the command of Benjamin Netanyahu and with the full funding and political, diplomatic, and economic support of the United States. Israel's attacks on the Gaza Strip killed over 2,200 Palestinians, including more than 500 children. And today, this man is being welcomed in our country as a guest of honor by elected representatives who claim to represent us. This is unacceptable. Any man who's committed these types of grave violations, these crimes against humanity, who sets foot in this or any other country should be placed under arrest for war crimes.
Now, if you believe what this institution, Fox News, CNN, or any of these other so-called news institutions say, you have to be quite foolish, because you just have to look at the death toll. How many Palestinians were killed and how many Israelis were killed? Israel is the rogue state. Israel is the terrorist state. Israel, the United States, Great Britain, NATO is the real axis of evil.
It's time to stop all aid to the racist state of Israel. Let's see some action. Stop paying for Israel's crimes. Don't say we didn't do it when you're paying for it. When you're paying for it with schools in the United States, when you're paying for it with hospitals in the United States and libraries and bus service.
That's right.
We're all paying for it, and people are all over the world for paying for it. And Netanyahu is here not only to get more money for the racist state of Israel, he's here to justify the robbery of communities all over the United States by the Pentagon.
There's a problem with this government. There's a problem with our people thinking that the government is right. It has nothing to do with patriotism. It has to do with what's right. And what's right is having everybody be aware that all people matter.
We just here in front of this Fox News let them know that we don't like citizens of this country and people who are living in this country. We don't like occupation.
The Obama administration imposed
several sanctions against Venezuela for supposedly human rights violations. But then they were organizing a coup against the democratically elected president Nicolas Maduro just on February 12. They wanted to overthrow a democratically elected president as usually they had been doing for a long time in history in South America. Fortunately, again, they failed. And they have been failing for 15 years already in Venezuela, and they will fail again. And we are here to show them that they will fail and to show where are the human rights violators. And it's here. Netanyahu is one of the human rights violators. And this administration should impose sanctions to Israel, not to Venezuela.
It's important to be out here outside Fox News because one of our big enemies is the major imperialist media who bury the truth with lies. They bury the truth with lies, and they must be exposed. That's right. You know, a few years ago, the truth was shining through. We always knew it, but more and more people were seeing it. Like many of these placards say, the hundreds of thousands of Arab and Muslims' lives that were lost because of the war against Iraq and the occupation of Iraq and Afghanistan. But today, all we hear about is ISIS, as if somehow they've done something that you can compare to what the U.S. and Israel have done. How absurd, how idiotic. But yet, this is what the people are told 24/7. And I'm so glad that one of the speakers before me said, Netanyahu does not speak for Jewish people. Yes. He speaks for warmongers and those who want to step up the war of the oppressor against the oppressed.